Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Merrimack Rotary TV Presents. Today we have an excellent topic for each of you, and one that's of great interest to many residents of Merrimack, particularly our students who are headed off to college and to study further on in higher education. The topic of the show today, scholarships. Everything you'd want to know about where scholarship money comes from in Merrimack, how it's distributed, what's the criteria, and who are the people behind all of this. So we've got a great show for you today. I'm your host, Maureen Mooney, the current president of the Rotary Club of Merrimack for 1 year, 2015 to 2016. So my term is just about at a close, but we're very lucky today to have with us Rob Moore.
Hello, I'm Rob Moore. I'm current director of the Rotary Club of Merrimack Scholarship Fund and have been sitting president for the past 2 years.
And Peter Flood.
And I was the original founder of Merrimack's Rotary Club, and I'm in my 50th year in Rotary.
Wow.
And I have to admit that when the president of my company, of which I was the sales manager, told me I would get a call from a Rotarian that was going to bring me into the Nashua Country Club, Rotary Club, where they met, and I was going to be a Rotarian. And I said, "What's that?"
You know
and he
now.
said, "You'll find out." And I did, and I'm very glad that I was ushered into a club that I knew nothing about, and have come to love it as one of the best things the world has, in a community or in a country, or in the world, as a matter of fact. Because Rotary International has hundreds of thousands of members,
Right.
and thousands upon thousands of clubs. And I have made up, over the years, made up meetings in Australia, New Zealand,
Wow.
London, Paris, where one of the women club members said, "Please, no more French."
Oh.
So I was absolutely surprised that in Cairo, Egypt, they have 14 Rotary clubs.
Wow.
Did you know that?
14.
In Alexandria, in Egypt, they have 11 or so.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
that is.
Yeah, on our recent trip, I took my grandson to the Rotary Club of Munich
Oh.
in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a very special Rotary flag that they had for their head table. And I brought them a little Rotary Club of Merrimack nylon thing, and this was made of silver, woven silver or something.
Uh-huh.
So they very dutifully took their wonderful flag and exchanged it with me, and we now have it
Very
in
nice.
Merrimack.
That's right.
So being in my 50th year, I look back and think how much a Rotary Club membership for me has done for me, as opposed to what I have been able to do with or for it.
Right.
And the balance is way in favor of me getting more out of it than I've put into it. And I would recommend any people in the town to become a Rotarian and see what it's like, and see if you get infected and spend the next 49 years of your life in it.
Exactly. And the club meets over here at the O'Leary Center
Yeah.
every Thursday morning, faithfully and regularly. 7:15 a.m. is the meeting. And there's typically a small business meeting, a buffet breakfast, and then a guest speaker between 8 and 8:30, and each meeting ends promptly at 8:30 so everybody can get on their day.
And when you collect all the talks that these speakers give to us every week over a year's time, you get to know your community
True.
in a way that
Absolutely.
other people really can't But we get it firsthand, and we get political candidates come in. We get the governor to come in.
Sure.
We got the chief of the justice of the Supreme Court came in. We've got, so between the fire chief and the town manager, you really end up knowing at the end of a year's listening to those talks every week. Very valuable experience.
Very true. And the Rotary Club's website is merrimackrotary.com or .org, either one, and it's being updated regularly now so the public can see who is going to be speaking at the Rotary Club. So that's very helpful. If anyone is interested in visiting a meeting or becoming a member, all of that is laid out on merrimackrotary.org or .com. So one thing among many that the Merrimack Rotary Club does, like you mentioned, great meetings, good speakers, good fellowship, and congratulations on your 50th year. That's really pretty remarkable. We'll have to do a 50th anniversary show, perhaps next. But one big part of it is that Rotarians raise money for scholarships to give to our students here in the community. Right. So could you give us a brief overview, Rob, of scholarships here in Merrimack?
Sure. Well, it started about 20 years ago. In '96, a group of Merrimack Rotarians decided to set up a scholarship fund, which was separate from the actual club, but really was their vehicle to be able to dispense and disperse monies towards higher education for Merrimack residents, particularly graduating high school seniors.
Right.
And so since then, it's really flourished over the 20 years. We've given over almost, I think, over $100,000 so far.
Wow.
To area residents. Yeah. And yeah, it's been an amazing experience for me to be a part of, to watch all these high school students that are so gifted and so talented be able to be rewarded for what they've done up until now.
Absolutely. So now you are on the scholarship committee.
That's correct.
Which is different from the Rotary Club of Merrimack, and yet the two work together.
Absolutely.
So who else is involved in this, and how do the two groups work together?
Well, we have 4 Rotarians.
Yep, 4 Rotarians on the club.
On the board of directors.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of whom is our superintendent of schools, Marge Chaffrey, and she acts as our secretary. And she's been with us in the Rotary Club for, I think, 20 years or more.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Wonderful member of our club. And Jennifer Yeomans, I brought into Rotary maybe 25 years ago.
Wow.
When a Nashua Rotarian called me and told me I was to take Jennifer Yeomans and bring her into the Merrimack Rotary Club. And she may not have known what Rotary was when she came in, but she has been a member of our club for years. She got so busy that she couldn't make our very early morning meetings because she is now the controller of Rivier University.
Yep.
So Jennifer is, of course, our treasurer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Rob Moore here, of course, we needed an attorney, so we got one in Rob.
There you go, and a good one.
And
a good one.
And he was a former member of our club.
Yes.
Got to know what the scholarship committee was, and he too, his law firm changed addresses, and it was much more convenient for him to be in a club in Nashua. So he's still a Rotarian, but
at a neighboring club.
Considered
exactly.
as
That's all right.
Just a civilian on
Exactly. I started when I first, and if I can just jump in from my own experience, when I started, I actually came in just when I started with the Merrimack Club back in 2008, and I joined this organization immediately because I love the concept of it.
Yes.
You know, at the time I was one of the younger Rotarians, and I thought I might be able to relate a lot better with a lot of these incoming, exiting seniors. And you know, unfortunately I wasn't able to stay in as a Rotarian member, but thankfully this organization allowed me to switch over to be a non-Rotarian director, and ultimately nominated me to be their president for the past year.
Yeah.
It happens quick, I
Yeah,
can
it does.
imagine.
It does.
So let's talk about the types of scholarships now that are given through this committee and what each of them cover.
Okay. Well, if I can jump in, right now there are 4 main scholarships that we really focus upon. There's an arts scholarship, and it basically is what it states. It's really for an individual that is looking to move on to any sort of higher education, undergraduate, either a certificate, a 2-year program, or a 4-year program in the arts field. There's the President's Award, which
Yes.
I'll have, I guess, you chime in as well.
I'd love to, yes.
But that is a constantly changing award, and it's basically based on each incoming president for the Rotary Club, what they're looking to, basically their focus would be for that coming year for those scholarships. So I believe for you this year, as the current president, you chose
nursing.
Okay.
Yes, the profession of nursing.
Yep.
So those looking to get a 4-year degree as a registered nurse.
Okay.
And I'll tell you,
a nurse I didn't love.
yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you, that was difficult to figure out which profession I, as the Rotary Club president, would choose. And I thought long and hard about it. And in January, I let Bill Wilkes know to relay to the scholarship committee that I chose nursing.
Which is wonderful.
Such great admiration for those that care so much for those that aren't feeling so well. So.
And it's one of the most unique awards that we present because it is
Yes.
constantly changing each and every year.
Right.
The other 2 that we have are the Applied Technology Scholarship. And again, it's for somebody that's looking for a vocational degree of some
Yes.
sort. And then the final one, and oftentimes it's the hardest one, it's the Community Service Award. And all of these scholarships are really based on financial need, but also for those that are showing great promise moving forward that they're going to succeed in these areas. So
I see. So how would a student, first of all, hear about these scholarships and then apply, and then what's the procedure after that, what would be required of them?
absolutely.
Well, they apply through the guidance department at
Okay.
the high school.
Good to know, yep.
It's advertised through the high school by the guidance department.
Yep.
Right.
And the students who think that they have worked hard enough toward excellence in scholarship and have needs and dreams can apply, and it's one of the great joys that we have as a committee to use our discernment to pick the ones that we think are logical to get the scholarships and have them come in, and we will.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a way that the public who are invited to donate to scholarships can trust our concerted discernment to award that money that they give to someone who has worked very hard toward excellence
Right.
Right.
and has a very big need.
Now, as members of this scholarship committee, how many hours or how many days per year would you say you put into this? Most people, you know,
Yeah.
especially those attending graduation at Merrimack High School, they'll open the program and they'll see all the lists of scholarship names,
Yep.
but they don't realize the background, especially for the 4 you just mentioned,
Right.
Applied Technology, Arts Scholarship, Community Service, and the President's Award. So how many hours would you say you put in a year into doing everything it takes to finally choosing 4 recipients of these awards?
I don't know if I've ever sat down to count them all. To be honest, it really depends. I mean, we meet all year long.
Okay.
And it is based on, okay, how do we as an organization want to grow this? I mean, the ultimate purpose of this, in addition to being able to dispense these monies to the students, is that we want to make this grow as well. And
Right.
that's really what our goal is to make sure that we can grow this as much as possible. And it's 100%, basically 100% of what comes in goes out.
Right.
And so, you know, that's our goal, is to make it larger. So we meet throughout the year. But of course, right around now is when the scholarships
Yes.
are really getting really busy because actually next Monday we start the selection process.
Oh, okay.
And followed by the following week, we're going to start with interviewing.
Right.
So
it starts in about early May or so.
Yep. That's when
We
Okay.
just
the
got
student
our
portion.
packets
Oh,
with
you did,
the
yeah.
Yep.
applications
Yep.
Oh,
of the students in it.
okay.
So we're going to be studying those out. Takes a whole weekend.
Exactly.
And then we'll have conference call, etc., to talk over who we think we should interview.
Exactly.
Yeah, what great and dedicated
Oh.
citizens we have here to do all of this work, really,
Right.
for our students, and every bit of scholarship money counts.
To be fair,
so
though,
substantially.
it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
work. I mean, and
Right.
that's the best part about it is it's very rewarding
Yes.
to know that we've been able to at least help somebody achieve their dream, as Peter was saying.
Right.
Right.
And the superintendent's office
Yeah.
blanks out the names of the students,
Oh.
and we just know. I think we know whether they're a male or a female. That's all.
That's it. Wow.
That's it. And then we take the rest of their information and
Yep.
try to make heads or tails of it.
Exactly. And it's a
Isn't that
difficult
something?
process.
Sure.
Oh, I
It really
bet.
is.
Yeah.
Very. You'd want to give to everyone, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. Good point.
We'd love to give to all of them
Yes.
and give them 10 times as much.
Exactly.
Sure thing.
Their need is so great, and
Yeah.
they have worked so hard to
Yeah. No doubt
be
about it.
eligible for good universities. And so.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Now, the Scholarship Committee has its own website.
That's correct.
So, in that link is on the Merrimack Rotary page, but what is the actual website?
If you're looking to go directly to the website, it's www.rcmsfi.org.
Okay.
And that stands again for the abbreviation of Rotary Club of Merrimack Scholarship Fund, Inc. So that's where that derives from.
Gotcha. And actually, at the bottom of the screen and throughout the show, I know they'll be showing that site.
Excellent.
So, could members go there if they're interested in contributing?
Absolutely.
Perhaps even serving on the Scholarship Committee, getting more information?
We
How would somebody
absolutely-
contribute?
Yep. I mean, I can
we
kind
can-
of
yeah.
speak as to the website portion. You can go there. We get requests actually quite often for individuals, and this is something that we've yet to talk about actually. So I don't want to jump off topic, but there's a great demand out there, obviously, for scholarships. And one of the
Right.
things we started a year or so ago was starting a non-traditional award as well.
Okay.
For somebody that is older, has been removed from a high school scenario, but wants to go back and achieve their dream of getting a degree, whether a certificate, again, a 2-year program or a 4-year program. So we've seen a lot of traffic from our website picking up from the non-traditional side.
Okay.
That we're looking to really,
Oh.
start and branch off and get that out there.
Oh,
As
perfect.
long as they're a Merrimackian.
Absolutely.
That's the
exactly
qualifier?
it. That is
Live
the
in
qualifier. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, how does somebody find out if they're a recipient of the scholarship? How is that news relayed?
For it in the traditional sense, we were able to notify that individual directly that they were awarded.
Gotcha.
But for the Merrimack High students, they're actually presented with those awards. They have a senior night, I believe, where it's actually
yeah.
all
Awards
of
night.
Awards night, and that all those awards are given out, and that's when they find out that they've received them.
Oh, nice. That must be so exciting, especially
Exactly.
if you're in attendance and
Yeah.
you participated in that process all the way through behind the scenes. To
Exactly.
see somebody get that award must be very gratifying.
It is.
And the scholarship amount this year?
Well, in the past, we've historically given, and it really has depended, but it's typically been $1,500 per category. Last year, we found many qualified candidates, and last year I believe we gave 6 awards out of $2,000 each.
Ah, okay.
And we're hoping to increase this each and every year, but it really, we really rely on donations and funds to help us get and achieve and grow this fund.
Right.
Yeah, if we end up with 2 students in a category that are just so even
Yeah.
that you can't choose one or the other,
Right.
we try to give them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
oh.
what happened last year.
Yeah.
And but I made a mistake of not going through our whole membership of our 7 members
Oh, please.
club because
Oh.
Bill Wilkes wanted to be here with us today,
Yes.
and he's been a businessman and a Rotarian with us for years, and great guy, and he is a member of the trust fund, keeper of the trust fund.
That's important, yes.
Yeah, and Audrey Herod is a dentist.
And our
in
newest
town.
member, actually.
Yeah, our newest member, and I was in the dental chair talking with Audrey, and she knew what I was talking about.
Wow.
But
If you can recruit a member in
Somehow.
a dental chair, you can probably recruit a member anywhere. That's pretty good.
exactly, and she was very interested because she said she had to scrape by all kinds of different ways of getting scholarships to put herself through not only college but then dental school. They're very expensive, so she wanted a way to give back. And I said, well, I have a way for you. We have an opening on our board of directors, and we'd welcome you, I think. And we
Nice.
discussed her willingness to come on board, and everybody was unanimously took her in. And she's very smart and very nice, and she has 2 little kids in Merrimack, and
Nice.
she has won lots of awards as a dentist. So,
Oh,
And the final one was Joyce Jobin.
and Joyce Jobin
Yep.
is a
Rotarian.
banker.
Yeah.
Yep.
We needed
Rotarian.
a banker. She's a Rotarian and a banker and a member of our directors.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any memorable stories about recipients or people you've interviewed along the way that you'd like to share?
My favorite has always been the art scholarship, and only so far as you get to see a sense. I mean, it's a very broad category as it is.
True.
And so people are encouraged to come in with certain portfolios. So one year we had somebody singing, if you remember, Peter, that came in with this song and dance routine and blew us away. We weren't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
But there's so many gifted individuals in Merrimack, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, when you see some of these people portfolio, whether it be photography or sketches or painting, it's really truly
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, I can imagine all that talent.
And that's really what we really enjoy, being able to sit down with the individual, because you see the passion that they have,
Right.
you know, in the arts.
Yes.
In this instance, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, and then a few of them would come in with their big art portfolio.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
spread out the artwork
Yeah.
that they've done.
Yeah.
It's really surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for those who are perhaps thinking about applying or maybe applying for next year or something along that line, since the deadline, I'm sure, has passed already
It has.
by the time of this taping?
Right.
My recommendation would just be, even if you don't believe that you particularly have the grades or have the extracurriculars, that you think that somebody else judging you would believe, you know,
Yeah.
that you'd be a qualified candidate, still apply.
Good.
Because, you know, although we consider merit, we consider financials, but we really also consider and see the passion in certain individuals. So,
Yeah.
you know, if there's somebody out there that is in dire need to be able to move on for educational purposes,
Yes.
you don't be afraid to apply, because I think regardless, we consider everybody.
Oh, that's great. You know, as I mentioned before we started taping, it's almost like a time warp in this studio, and 27 minutes is gone just like that once the cameras turn on. So here we are with just shy of 3 minutes left, if you can
No
believe it.
kidding.
So if you have any last remarks regarding either your experiences as a committee person or the impact that scholarships make on those students in Merrimack, now would be the time. So Peter, why don't we start with you?
My advice to the kids is don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Just make out your form and tell your story and send it in.
Great.
And the other thing is that we would like it to make it absolutely as easy as possible for people to donate to this fund that is now established. Our initial goal was to get it to 100,000 and to make it a real fund, and we're up to what, 150
Yeah.
some odd thousand
Yeah.
now, and
Amazing.
we'd love to have a goal to make it 1 million.
Right.
So to make it as simple as possible, we're trying to set up a way for people to just say scholarships on their check,
Yep.
send it into P.O. Box 181,
181.
Merrimack. And your check, your money will be well used, and discernment used, and it will be recorded, and you will have credit for it.
Absolutely.
Good point.
Yeah, and I guess to kind of piggyback off that, this fund, our hands are limited by what we have.
Yeah.
And so the growth of this fund is really instrumental to be able to give back even more.
Yeah.
And so for those that have the ability to do it in any manner, you know, we'll take anything. But it's going back into our youth, and it's staying in Merrimack. That's very important.
Very important, and very important to the Merrimack Rotary Club as
Right.
well.
Absolutely.
And how happy we are to be able to contribute to the scholarship fund.
Yeah.
And I know this year's scholarships will be higher than they've ever been
Exactly.
in the
and
past.
we're very appreciative towards the Rotary Club to be able to do that.
And
Absolutely.
maybe it would be good for your little kids to make out little checks. We'll take anything. $5.
Good point.
A little young child sending in $5 with the purpose of helping a high school senior
Yes.
might make them more aware of being a scholar themselves someday.
That's right. And then down the line, when they're a senior, they can pass that on to generations that are coming up behind them.
Pay it forward.
That's right.
Yep.
It just keeps going, that's for sure. So 2 websites we want our viewers to look at. The first is, of course, merrimackrotary.com or .org. Either one works. And come visit us sometime at the O'Leary Center every Thursday morning at 7:15. The second website is the Scholarship Committee, and that's rcmsfi.org at the bottom of your screen. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time, and have a good afternoon.